me alone. Don't just sit there watching me.
It's my room as much as yours. I don't have to leave if I don't want to.
Do you have to sit there staring at me? Can't I have any privacy?
I'm staring into space. I can't help it if your body interferes. Bet you're worried.
How would you feel if your entire life depended on what your Uncle Jack decided? God, I wish Daddy were alive.
He would have said no. He was really strict.
Not with me. I mean, he was strict, but he was fair. If he said no, he always gave you a good reason. He always talked things out. I wish I could call him somewhere now and ask him what to do. 1 3-minute phone call to heaven is all I ask.
Ask Mom. She talks to him every night.
Who told you that?
She did. Every night before she goes to bed. She puts his picture on her pillow and talks to him. Then she pulls the blanket halfway up the picture and goes to sleep.
She does not.
She does too. Last year when I had the big fever, I slept in bed with the both of them. In the middle of the night, my face fell on his picture and cut my nose.
She never told me that. That's weird.
I can't remember him much anymore. I used to remember him real good. But now he disappears a little bit every day.
God, he was so handsome. He was always dressed so dapper, and his shoes always shined. I always thought he should have been a movie star like Gary Cooper, only very short. Mostly I remember his pockets.
His pockets?
Well, when I was 6 or 7, he always brought me home a little surprise, like a Hershey or a top. He'd tell me to get into his coat pocket. So I'd run to the closet and I'd put my hand in. Oh, it felt as big as a tent. I wanted to crawl in there and go to sleep. And there are all these terrific things in there, like juicy fruit gum and spearmint lifesavers and bits of cellophane and crumpled pieces of tobacco and movie stubs and nickels and pennies and rubber bands and paper clips and his gray suede gloves that he wore in the wintertime.
With the stitch lines down the fingers. I remember.
Well, then I found his coat in Mom's closet, and I put my hand in the pocket, and everything was gone. It was emptied and dry cleaned, and it felt cold. And that's when I knew that he was really dead. God, I wish we had a house of our own. I hate being a boarder. Listen, let's make a pact. The first one who makes enough money promises not to spend any on herself, but saves it all for a house for you and me and Mom. That means every penny we get from now on, we save for the house. We can't buy anything. No lipstick or magazines, nail polish, bubble gum, nothing. Is it a pact?
What about movies?
Movies too.
Starting when?
Starting today. Starting right now.
Can we start Sunday? I wanted to see The Thin Man.
Who's in it?
William Powell and Myrna Loy.
Okay. Starting Sunday. I'll go with you on Saturday.
Sid Luckman of Columbia waits for the snap from center. The snow is coming down in a near blizzard. He gets it, he fades back, he passes, and Luckman's got it! Luckman catches his own pass! He's on the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, it's a touchdown! Columbia wins, they defeat the mighty Crimson of Auburn 13-12. Listen to that crowd!
Eugene, stop that yelling! I have a cake in the oven!
Hey, Huge.
Hiya, Stan. My brother, Stan. He's okay. You'll like it. What are you doing home so early?
Is Pop home yet?
No. Did you ask about the tickets?
What tickets?
For the Yankee game. You said your boss knew a guy could get passes. You didn't ask him?
Me and my boss had other things to talk about. I'm in trouble, Huge. I'm in really big trouble.
This really shocked me. Because Stanley's the kind of guy who can talk himself out of any kind of trouble. What kind of trouble?
I got fired today.
Fired? You mean for good?
You don't get fired temporarily. It's appointment at lifetime firing.
Well, why? What happened?
It's on account of Andrew, the colored guy who sweeps up. When he was cleaning the floor of the stockroom, and he puts the broom against the table to throw some junk in the trash can, and the broom slips, knocks a can of linseed all over the table, ruins 3 brand new hats right out of the box. $9 Stetsons. It wasn't his fault. I mean, he didn't put the can of linseed oil there, right?
Right.
So Mr. Stroheim sees the oily hats and he gets crazy. He says to Andrew that the hats are going to have to come out of his salary. $27. So Andrew starts to cry.
He cried?
42 years old, he's bawling all over the stockroom. I mean, the man hasn't got much furniture upstairs anyway, but he's real sweet. He brings me coffee, always laughing, telling me jokes. I never understand them, but I laugh anyway. Make him feel good, you know?
Yeah.
So I said to Mr. Stroheim, I didn't think that was fair. It's not Andrew's fault.
You said that to him?
Sure, why not? So Mr. Stroheim says to me, you want to pay for the hats, Big Mouth? I say, no, I don't want to pay for the hats. So he says to me, mind your own business, Big Mouth.
Holy mackerel.
Everyone's watching me now, waiting to see what I'm going to do next. I felt the dignity of everyone who worked in that store was in my hands. So I pick up the broom, and there's a big pile of dirt right in the middle of the floor.
Yeah?
And I sweep it all over Mr. Stroheim's shoes. Andrew just finished shining them this morning, if you want to talk about irony.
I'm dying. I'm actually dying.
You can see everybody in the place about to bust a gut. Mrs. Mulcahy, the bookkeeper, can hardly keep her false teeth in her mouth. Andrew's eyes are hanging 5 inches from their sockets.
This is the greatest story in the history of the world.
So Mr. Stroheim grabs me, pulls me in the back office, closes the door, and pulls down the shades. He gives me this whole story about how he was brought up in Germany to respect his superiors. That if he ever did such a thing like you do, they would beat me in their cup until they carry me away dead.
That's perfect. You got him down perfect.
And I say, yeah, but we're not in Germany, old buddy.
You said that to him?
Nah, to myself. I didn't want to go too far.
I was wondering.
Anyway, he says to me that he's always liked me. He thought that I was a good boy. He's going to give me one more chance. He wants a letter of apology. And if that letter isn't on his desk by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, I can consider myself fired.
I would have had a heart attack. What'd you say?
I said I wasn't going to apologize if Andrew still had to pay for the hats. He said that was between him and Andrew, and he expected the letter from me in the morning. So I said good night, walked out of his office, grabbed my hat and went home. 10 minutes early.
I'm sweating. I swear to God, I'm sweating all over.
I don't know why I did it, but I got so mad. It just wasn't fair. If you give in when you're 18 and a half, you'll give in for the rest of your life, don't you think?
I suppose so. So what's the decision? Are you gonna write the letter?
Nah,
Positively?
positively. Except I'll have to discuss it with Pop first. I know we need the money, but he told me once, you have to do what you think is right in the world. Stand up for your principles.
And what if he says he thinks you're wrong? That you should write the letter?
He won't. He's gonna leave it up to me, I know it.
But what if he says to write the letter?
Well, that's something we won't know until after dinner, will we?
All in all, it was shaping up to be one heck of a dinner. I'll say this, though. I always had this two-way thing about my brother. Either I worship the